Hi, it's me, Ingrid P. And I'm on a hill. And whenever I'm on this hill, I keep thinking about the passage of the seasons. When I first moved to Sweden, I thought that when people were talking about how the passing of seasons was so beautiful, I thought that they were just trying to compensate for the fact that it is cold out here all year long. But it is actually a beautiful thing. And I made a video about this like a year ago, something like that. About SI and how autumn is beautiful. I'm taking the last rays of sunlight of the year here. I'll probably not be able to return to this place for a while. And that's the thing, is that nature puts limitations on us. But that doesn't need to be a bad thing, you know? There are seasons to life as well as nature has seasons, but we also have seasons. We don't do the same activities in the summer as we do in the winter. We can't expect ourselves to be machines that are productive all year round. Sometimes autumn is a reminder of like the transformation, the rest that is needed in our lives. Things are dying, but they are beautiful what they do it. And they're entering a place of rest rather than actually a place of death, because the trees are still alive even if they don't have their leaves anymore. You know? It's the leaves that are dead and falling off, but it's just like, you know, it's the tree entering a state of rest. You can't be awake all the time. Sometimes you need to sleep. And sleep is actually a good restorative process. So autumn is a reminder for us every year that it's time to take some time to process, to live life slowly. After all the busyness of like the start of the year and the busyness of all of the other seasons, autumn is a reminder to take it easy. I think in that sort of way, every season is kind of about certain things. You know, like the typical one is that spring is a season of rebirth and of fresh starts and spring cleaning and that kind of thing. I really do like autumn. It's beautiful here because the trees have such beautiful colors. Now we're nearing the end of autumn, and a lot of the trees don't have any leaves left. A lot of the trees that keep their spines all year long like show their true beauty and such. The snow hasn't come here yet, but it will soon. It often starts snowing at the end of November or something like that. There are still spiders that live. The spider is creating a beautiful web. I'm sorry that you guys can't see it, but it's like glinting in the sunlight, like shaking in the wind a little bit. I've been reading my book Sapiens, which now that we have the Israel-Palestine, it's kind of, you know, the author has his ideas about, because he's from Israel. He's Jewish, and yeah, but I really do like the book. So I've been reading it at the top of the mountain, the mountain, the hill that I'm sitting on. It's just this like a rocky hill that I'm sitting on. And I've also been doing my crochet as usual. And listening to like lo-fi music, ambient sounds, that kind of thing with my headphones. And also just listening to the wind. First day in a long time that it hasn't been raining, so that's nice. But it does all of these SI things, like the squelching of the mud under my shoes. Like, it can be a little bit disagreeable, but it's also kind of nice, you know. If you stop caring about like that your clothes are going to get dirty, it's kind of nice to walk in. Also, be careful about walking up on hills that have wet moss, because I was slipping like 10 times on my way up here. So I'm going to be careful on my way down. But there are these small sensory things, like seeing the birds fly back home, which are sunnier places in the case of Sweden, anywhere outside of Sweden. But some birds go just to the south of Sweden and then they go back a little bit more north. So witnessing that, witnessing the last apples on the trees, the rose hips on the bushes, all of that. Seeing the light getting, like, it gets darker and darker every day. So in a few hours, like, I'm filming this at 1 and I'm filming, it's like noon. And I have to be conscious of my time, you know, because there is so little of it. So I really try hard to go outside during the sunny time and then be at home and do my crochet and watch a movie or that kind of thing in the evening. Have my conversations with my family in the evening where I can make the place cozy. Do my crochet, and when it's sun, like, follow the rhythms of life, you know, follow the rhythm of the sun, the rhythm of the seasons, the rhythm of the week. The week is a man-made thing, but the seasons isn't, and the rhythm of the day is not either. So I try to follow the natural rhythms, especially this week while I was on holiday. During the work week, I have to follow the work week schedule. So basically I leave my home and I come back home and it's already dark. And it's rains during my lunch break, so it's like I don't ever see the sunlight. So I try to make the best about it and follow nature's rhythm, which is kind of a little bit like SI regulation, you know. I've been reading up a lot about autism and ADHD regulation. There are ways to self-regulate, which is like, you can do it in different ways. You can listen to some calming music, or you can do some steaming activities like squishing my little squish ball, touching some grass, like literally, going to a quiet place, or dancing to some music. There are all sorts of different ways to regulate your body when there are all these physical sensations that are difficult, or these thoughts that are difficult, or emotions that are difficult. So finding ways to regulate yourself, to be at a kind of homeostasis, is kind of SI. SI is about regulation. And that's why a lot of SI is about like traditions, being resistant to change, because it's like homeostasis. But when you're feeling triggered or very anxious or that kind of thing, you need to come back to like a baseline of homeostasis. And so making yourself feel comfortable while at the same time living your life, you know, being in tune with nature, being in tune with the world. But if you are like assaulted by the world, trying to find a place of calm, trying to alternate between these states. So I think that we should, like, that's the way to find the Zen, is the homeostasis, the SI, which I've been finding lately, with the help of the different advice tips that I find online, and these different videos on YouTube, and different books that I'm reading. I'm reading The Body Keeps a Score, which is a good book. And I go on my walks in nature and that kind of thing. And so finding regulation is really important, especially if you're a sensitive person. It's difficult to do this when you are working, because work is not based around like the rhythms of the body and the rhythms of nature. It's based on the rhythm of productivity, which is a fast, unrelenting pace. It's homeostasis, but like not. It's like, it's the same, but in a stressful way. And stress is based on cognitive stress. There's also, which is like the firing in the brain. There's also the cortisol levels in our bodies. And there's also our immune system. And lately, since I've been feeling regulated, I feel like I'm not getting sick as much. My family has been under a lot of stress lately, and they've all been sick. They've all been sick in different ways during this autumn. And I think that boosting, like lowering our cortisol levels, boosting our immune system by eating healthily, by walking, by doing calming, regulating exercises. These are things that unfortunately are difficult to do when you're working. And I'm glad that I was able to regain a little bit of that sense by not going to work, and also by working a shorter amount of hours. Now I'm going to be working at 100%. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to try to maintain this, and I'm open to any tips. I know that a lot of people suggest yoga and that kind of thing, but it's like I accept that kind of advice, but I mean, like, that's not something new. Okay, I've heard that before. But if you have any like interesting new tips that maybe I haven't thought about, you can suggest yoga, but like maybe some specific yoga that is that has helped you specifically. Like, maybe it won't help me. Everybody has personal experiences. But I would like to hear what regulates you. Like, for example, I know that one of my subscribers, using Mindscapes, he goes and walks at like an hour at like 5 in the morning or something, and I can't do that. But I can take walks like later in the day, and that's also helpful for me. So I can take a little inspiration here and there, and maybe my other viewers can too. So have a great day, and write in the comments.